Hi, Kerry here again. Welcome to the video. If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, it's just me here doing a acquisitions video of the new books that have come my way in the last few days. Now, everything that in this video came my way on Friday the 19th of March 2021. I'm doing a big budget production for an acquisition video this time. I usually just do it on the Logitech webcam, but had a bit of trouble with that lately. So here I am with the lapel microphone and the nice camera, and let's get into it. So first of all, from the book depository on Friday afternoon arrived a package, and it contained Fun Home, Alison Bechdel's graphic novel from about 15 years ago. One I've always wanted to read but never got round to it till I found it at a good price recently. Those 10% discount codes from the book depository come in handy. So this is just a autobiographical story of her childhood growing up with her family who ran a funeral home, hence the title Fun Home. And this is told in a slightly non-linear fashion and involves quite a lot about her relationship with her father. She comes out as gay to him, and it turns out that he's had similar experiences in his past. So there'll be one to read, a little interesting. And so on Friday morning I masked up and made my way over to the Pioneer Recreation and Sports Centre via public transport, hence the mask. And where the Christchurch City Library's annual book sale was being held. Now, the last book sale actually was held only 6 months ago. Because of COVID, they delayed it till October last year. I'm thinking that may be a reason why I found the selection a little lackluster this time round. Can't fault the organisation, as you're probably seeing in the video inserts I'm putting right here. It's a big hall in the recreation centre, set up with trestle tables, and the books are organised like fiction, non-fiction. Non-fiction subjects are broken down into smaller categories such as military and history. And this time there's quite a large section of premium books, which were like big art books or photography books, which they put special prices on. Everything else is supposed to be $3. And so there was a large selection of fiction. The non-fiction was quite lacking. There wasn't much that interested me there, and the things that did interest me, by the time I saw them, I'd had a load of books on already, and that was getting a bit too heavy for me to handle on foot. So I basically threw in the towel after a while and sat down a little there, took a look in the sites of what was going on there, then picked up my 8 books and took them to the counting table where they counted how many books I had, which I already told them how many, but I guess they have to be sure. And then they wrote a figure on a piece of paper, and I took that to the payment people, used FPOS, and away I went. And home I came again around just about 12:30 in the afternoon. So let me just go through what I picked up there in no particular order. Firstly, Neil Ashe's Brass Man. Now this is probably number 50 million in a series which I haven't been following. I've got a couple of other books by Neil Ashe that I've bought over the years from other library sales, etc. He seems to be very popular, but I have never actually read anything by him. It's widescreen, space opera, sci-fi. People say he's the Michael Bay of science fiction, meaning lots of action. Brass Man, I really don't know where this fits into his grand saga. I know that he's got about several different sagas going and sub-branches off each saga. So I am not sure when I'll get around to reading that, but maybe one day. And next up, Chuck Palahniuk. I probably haven't said that right. Invisible Monsters Remix. Now I can't remember if I've actually read the original version of this book, but I did go through a phase of reading pretty much most that he had out at the time, up to about a decade again. And this is apparently a redone version of one of his earlier books, Invisible Monsters. Something about fashion and models and all that type of thing. As usual, nasty look at the way the world works to him, for him, and yeah, so that's fiction, obviously. Next up, Peter F. Hamilton. Now, he's been a favourite author of mine going back for a while. He's a British science fiction author, and this is a short story collection by him called Manhattan in Reverse. So I think there's about 7 or 8 stories in here. I haven't read any of them before, so that will be interesting. And he's another soap opera widescreen sci-fi guy, although he can do slower key things at times. So that's Peter F. Hamilton's at Manhattan in Reverse. Next up, Nick Frost's Truths, Half-Truths and Little White Lies. Now, this is one of those celebrity memoir, biography type things that seem to come out towards the end of the year for the Christmas market. There's been a lot of them in the last decade. Who knows if he actually wrote it himself? I'm not sure. Nick Frost, I've always enjoyed the work from. I actually watched a program of his last night called Truth Seekers, which is unfortunately since been cancelled, but you know, he sounds like a nice type of guy to read about, so that'll be something for them to look forward to. Next up, The Man with the Golden Typewriter. This is selected letters by Ian Fleming to all his correspondence in the earlier years of the 20th century, well, mid-20th century. Not too much to say about this. I have a passing interest in spy fiction, James Bond. I have all the James Bond novels. It's what I said it is. It's one for maybe for James Bond fans, Ian Fleming fans. So that's The Man with the Golden Typewriter. Next up, Saturn Run. Now, I remember reading about this on Amazon a few years ago, and I put it on my wish list for when it came out in paperback, but I've since forgotten about it. It's basically a combination of a techno thriller and a sci-fi book. I'm not sure which thing is dominant, which part of that is dominant in this case. Something's found around Saturn, and there's a race to get to Saturn to make first contact with some alien artifact. That's all I know about it so far. Another one for the pile. And lastly, we have God No by Penn Jillette. Now he comes out in the perhaps shocking for Americans that he is an atheist, and his arguments for being atheist and libertarian and what have you. Second book I've acquired by Penn Jillette in the last few months, and the first one I still haven't read. There's one about his weight loss and what have you. So I'm sure it'll be an amusing read when I actually get round to it. So like I said, all of those are going on the TBR pile or TBR boxes. I should show you some footage sometime of that. That's the spare room's half full of boxes, and there's another 24 of them in the garage or something. So that's my book collection. No bookshelves here, I'm afraid, and well, none that I have any space left in. So anyway, so that is the acquisitions for this weekend. Today, the 21st of March. So all these books were acquired on the 19th of March. So I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you soon.